And good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to BoqueteNOW Talk Radio. I'm your host, Al Stefadelli, and we are sponsored by Big Daddy's Grill, Boulder 54, and the Tap Out Sport Zone. We got a great show for you today. We have Louise and Mike Schwartz from the BCP Tuesday Market at the Feria. Mike Schwartz is a friend of the show. He's been on almost half a dozen times. Louise hasn't been on the show, but welcome.
Thank you.
And they're with the BCP at the Feria, and we're going to talk about all things Tuesday Market.
Okay.
But I think, Mike, did you want to start off with something? There's we talked earlier before the show.
Right.
We want to address a couple of the rumors and speculation.
Yeah, sure. It would be my pleasure. People don't really understand what the BCP is. We represent the BCP right now. And, people are like thinking, what is it a place? What is the BCP? It's an organization. It's a community organization that wants to help the community.
Sure.
And it was where Tap Out is right now.
Right.
There was a theater there. The BCP started as a theater company, and it morphed into this community group. Mm-hmm. And Louise can chime in at any time. But there is a rumor going around that Tap Out has thrown out the BCP from the theater, and that is totally not true. According to Chris Young, Tap Out is renovating the theater, and for that reason, they have asked the BCP to remove the chairs and the equipment and whatever else, the lighting and other things, so that the renovation can take place. And in the future, there will be events, there will be BCP productions, shows, and whatever manner of things that will take place in that theater. Sure. Will the theater look exactly the same? Probably not. I don't know. I don't know what they have planned, but I know they are renovating the space, and I would like to quell any of those rumors that are out there.
Yeah.
Not sure about what, as Michael said, what the renovation might be, but for certain there is an extermination much needed.
Right. I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that
the building is
Mensa
infested with termites.
Right.
Now you might say, why? It's got a concrete tile floor. Yeah, but the stage, the rafter, everything is wood, and it's been an ongoing problem for a number of years. In fact, I spent quite a bit of time rolling about on the stage floor in piles of termite wings during rehearsals for our last show.
So it's a much needed renovation.
Well, it's absolutely critical for an old building like that.
And Mensa won't let anyone occupy it until those renovations. Is that correct?
Actually, Mensa gave approval for the use of the theater space to Tap Out for the Tuesday talks.
Okay.
Which were they were set aside because ACCB decided not to participate any further. But in fact, Mensa did authorize the use of the theater space, and obviously they had to authorize the use for the Tuesday market that's being held there as well.
Yeah. Well, I can verify the termite situation because I know Al has been in our shows. Louise was a star of one of our last 60 show. And there was a show, I don't even remember which one it was, but a while back, where in the middle of the show there was a cloud of termites just fell down from the ceiling onto the performers. I was one of them, and it was pretty funny, but it was a horrible kind of situation because we were at the time holding scripts, holding paper, and all these, hundreds of termites just fell down on top of us, and that takes a little time to recover from. So yeah, it's much needed. The renovation, the extermination of the termites is much needed.
And
So
we're all looking forward to that being done, and for the BCP to get back to the plays. And
bet.
are we doing another? Is there another music review or?
Well, we would like to do another music show. Of course, it's very in these times it's very difficult for us to arrange anything, and much less have rehearsals with a bunch of musicians and singers, and So the minute we're able to get the performers together, the musicians, we plan on doing that. So we've gotten so much great feedback over the years.
Oh yeah.
From the audience here in Boquete, and thank you so much. And rest assured, we will be putting on more shows as soon as we are able.
Okay. Well,
and I think we hope to as well put on theatrical performances.
Yes.
And we were 2 weeks from opening night.
Oh yeah.
Of Noel Coward's Blithe Spirit.
Yeah, I know.
After 3 months of rehearsals when everything was shut down.
Yep, I remember that.
And so that would be probably, I'm not going to say this that it's set in stone, but all of us have kept our scripts. We've gotten together a couple of times to discuss the future, and just as Michael said, there's no way we can do anything until we can take our masks
until the clearances
off.
are given. But I'm really looking for, if you guys can pull that off, I was looking forward to seeing that, that show. So I, just keep my fingers crossed that you can go ahead with it.
Well, Louise is still rehearsing every night in her bathroom in front of the mirror. She's memorized the entire. She knows all the parts, not just. No, okay, maybe
Almost
not.
all the parts. Okay, well, thanks for clearing all that up. I know that there's been a lot of bochinche, floating around there. So that information that you just got came from the BCP people and also from Chris Young. So to be sure that there is definitely a future with this stuff.
Al, you're like the Clearasil.
The Clearasil
of Boquete. you clear up all the bochinche.
It's a thankless job, but somebody has to do it, right? Let's get to the market.
Yes.
I know that's the purpose why you're here, and thank you for taking the time out of that to explain what's going on with the theater. So what's new with the market? Is there any changes going on there, Louise?
Yes, we have. Just this last Tuesday, we got permission from the fairgrounds to offer food. Breakfast pastries mostly, that could change, and coffee, as well as an outdoor space to consume those items.
Oh, really?
Because you're not allowed to consume anything inside the building. And we want to encourage our vendors, those that deal in food product, to have the opportunity to offer samples, for example.
Oh, yeah.
In this case, it was a free introduction. There's 2 nice big tables right outside.
Is that out in the front or is it
in the back?
In the back.
Okay. And overlooking the gardens right now
Beautiful.
at the fairgrounds are
are
unbelievable. They are so colorful. People were taking selfies with the gardens in the background and their cup of coffee in hand. So we will have an outdoor space because I think a lot of people come to the market not only to maybe buy their favorite coffee, or they come to socialize.
Well, sure, yeah. It's
so we now have a space to do so, a space that has permission to do so.
Right, and that's all all obviously following the biosecurity guidelines and all
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
I know Mensa has been when my wife was there for our charity, I think for like 4 weeks. Mensa is very serious about those guidelines being followed. And everybody, all the vendors and the organizers were all properly geared up with shields and with face masks and the alcohol spray and the temperature.
Well, yeah, just like most places here in Boquete, we do take your temperature and give you that spritz of gel, the spritz.
As somebody was saying who was doing the temperature check last night, she'd go, "Let me take your temperature. Would you like some alcohol?"
I'll have some bourbon, thank you very much. Yeah.
By the way, Michael, you can address this as well. We've just changed our rates for the vendors. We've lowered our table rate.
All right.
It now is $8 for a big table, and $5 for a little table.
That's
Is
true.
that the table? Does the vendor supply those tables?
No, we
You have the
supply.
So we
tables, too.
supply the
Wow.
tables, and we have another promotion.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun! When a vendor appears 3 weeks in a row, they get the 4th week free.
That's
Oh,
correct.
do you give them a little punch card?
We keep track.
Yeah, no, and this extends till the end
End
of
of April.
April,
In
yeah.
April, yeah.
So any vendor that comes for 3 weeks will get the 4th week free. That's exciting. We have a lot of exciting things going on at the Feria, at the Arco Iris room of the Feria, and we invite everybody to come on down to the Tuesday Market on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Come down on Tuesday. On
Tuesday.
Wednesday, we're not going to be
Not
there.
going to be there.
No.
So now, I remember now when before the market was even open, I've had other people from that market on the show, and they had, I wouldn't say said, but inferred to how things were going to be organized, and the one way, each way, the way the vendors are set up, and so how is it now when you go in?
We changed it just this Tuesday.
Yes, all right.
Yeah.
And everybody was much appreciative. The vendors, the visitors, ourselves as organizers. As you come in the front door, the lanes now run, let's say you're looking in the front door, they run directly vertical, not horizontal.
Okay, so you walk, all right.
Straight ahead. You can walk straight ahead. There's better interaction. It's all spaced out properly.
Sure.
And the vendors really liked it. A better flow of traffic, I think. And the room itself, the rainbow room.
Yeah.
That's what Arco
And that was
Iris
recently
means, is
renovated, too.
rainbow.
Yeah.
The rainbow room it's very well ventilated. We have those back doors wide
Yep.
open. The front door is
You have
wide
ceiling
open.
fans now.
There's the whole, it's just big and spacey
Yeah.
and comfortable. And for our vendors, we provide pickup and delivery service. I mean, they can pull right up to the front door. We have
Right.
two, Enrique and
Yeah,
his partner, and Anna, our market manager. They
Yeah.
help you bring your stuff
They
in.
will help you unload. They
and
will
load up.
transport it to your
table.
location.
Wow.
And on the way out as well, they'll help you pack up, and you pack up, I
pack
guess,
up,
but
yeah.
put it on the cart and help you bring it to your
And that's
vehicle.
really handy because, with that extra help, it keeps the flow of traffic.
And I noticed too
moving.
a couple weeks ago when I was working the front door, that a couple of our local residents who are handicapped but still driving, I mean they're capable of driving, but to negotiate any long distance parking space would be difficult. They've been allowed to park right in front. In fact, our Enrique and his fellow assistant helped the lady out of her car, helped her husband out of the other side. They were very grateful. They didn't hog the space for an hour and a half. They were in and out. They
In
did
and
their
out.
shopping, and they much appreciated it.
Yeah, and I want to say something else about, people are always asking, what is the BCP? What do we do? And there are many community functions. One of them that we do at the Tuesday Market is we collect mail for people going
Right.
back to the United
The
States.
Gringo Express.
And we also have stamps. If you don't have, we prefer if you bring the mail with stamps, I think. But if you don't have stamps, as a last resort, we sell the stamps. I'm going to get in trouble for this because I work the table.
But you're always in trouble.
I'm always in trouble. I worked the table the other week, and I'm thinking, who still uses mail? I mean, who's using all this mail? Back in the United States. I saw a few weeks before that there were a lot of Christmas cards, which I understand people still send Christmas cards. But I don't think I've sent a piece of mail since I've been here, like 5 years.
I have.
You have?
I have
Okay.
because I've had to. What is it? I think. Well, not this last year, but the state of California used to the state of South Carolina, where I came from to move here. They required a mail-in ballot
Right,
for
some states
federal
actually
election.
require a
Okay.
physical.
Yeah, well, a
They
legal
know that-
document I can understand,
Yeah.
something
That's,
like
that's
that.
all I've
Social
sent.
Security
I haven't
But I
sent
don't think a lot of people are sending, letters, handwritten letters anymore.
Yeah,
But
what's that? What the
Yeah,
hell?
what is that?
I know the last time I went to the States, I was one of the
carriers.
the carriers, and there was a good amount.
Thank you.
There was a good. Oh, it's no problem. You know, there was a good amount of mail there. Probably 50 or 60
Pieces.
envelopes. Pieces of mail.
I traveled in early November, and I took the mail one week, and let me tell you, I never felt so much responsibility.
I know, right?
Right? You're holding the mail from all these people, and you're like, oh, I have to get this
it
mail.
better not snow or sleet.
Right. But the first mailbox you see, you're like, I'm taking this to the mail, so it can be on its way.
Did you do that at the airport, Michael?
No, not at the airport. Do they have mailboxes
Some
at the airport?
airports
Really?
do.
No.
Well,
They're not easy to find.
When
but
we go to
they
the
often
States,
do.
we fly. All my family, we're all in Atlanta, so you want to get out of Hartsfield Jackson
As soon as
Airport as
possible.
fast as possible.
Oh.
So what we did is after when we got into to where we were staying, I took all the mail out, and literally 3 blocks from where we were was a UPS store, a post office for one of the Atlanta suburbs, and I went in there. There was no line. There was nothing. This is last December, and I just said, here. And they said, okay, thank you. And I was like, I did my job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's a lovely service. It's been, going on for years and years. And
But it's envelopes only.
Envelopes
it's
only.
No,
Envelopes
no
only,
packages,
no packages. Because
Yeah.
if you
Yeah, we don't have a truck that drives.
well,
to
not
the
to mention,
States.
you don't want the person delivering it to have their entire 150-pound bag of luggage full of packages. But
It's flat envelopes, and we're happy to do it. And we're always looking for volunteers. If you're going to the States and you're willing to take that responsibility, please see somebody at the Tuesday Market from the BCP, and we'd be happy to hook you up with the mail.
And that where is that station located?
It's right on the right as you walk in. There's a table. Daniel is now our
Dan Gallagher.
official.
Dan Gallagher. is
Dan
there.
Gallagher. And, you have to get past Daniel. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, retired Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure that you have the right amount of stamps on there.
Oh, we do sell stamps. There's no issue with that.
So
Yeah.
now, how is? Now I remember, back before COVID and before the market was split, that the organization of the vendors was changed several times. They tried different things. This is in the old days. Now that you have this big building, this climate control, very nice, climate control fans, and
Ventilation.
the I guess the construction version of 480 air conditioning. How are the vendors set up? Are they grouped in like type, like here's jewelry, here's food, here's
No,
they're
not
just-
necessarily. They're kind of spread out. We're only at the moment allowed to have 25 vendors.
right.
The room is
No, I think it's 50. I think.
well, but I think the capacity is 50, but we're only allowed half.
No,
of it.
I think. I don't know.
You may be correct.
I think it's 50, but with the MINSA regulations.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. I don't know, but
I
it's
think
somewhere
you're right.
between 20. I think it's 50.
So we
Yeah.
currently
And,
have probably about 25, 27, 28
Right.
vendors.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
set up scattered around.
I remember when the Tuesday Talks came back, I did the first one, and I was told that there were only allowed 50 people in the theater. It's half capacity.
Half. Yeah.
And that included anyone who wasn't on the stage. So I didn't count.
Right.
But Joe and the rest of the ACCB people that were there, they counted towards that 50. So, and they were asked, if when you come in, don't come in the front door because it takes away from the discount. I know it can get complicated, but where you guys are, it's just you in that one building. So if you're going to that building on Tuesday, you're going to the Tuesday Market.
Well, yeah. First of all, I'd like to say that everyone here in Boquete is looking forward to the day when this pandemic is over,
yeah.
and we can have unlimited number of vendors, and we
Yeah.
can have people socializing and drinking coffee, and just like in the old days. But another thing about the BCP I'd like to point out is that being the community service organization that we are, we do offer charities a free table
Yes.
at our Tuesday Market. And that's definitely a plus for the community. So that's why we say we're the heart of the community.
And as one of those charities, I can't tell you how much we appreciated that. You guys allowed us there, I think it was 4 weeks, gave us all the space we needed.
And your charity was the Estrella?
Estrella, yeah, Operation Feed Estrella.
Oh, we're happy to have you there.
And because of the generosity of the BCP and allowing us to have those space, it was through your venue that we had managed to get 35 families adopted for our angel tree for Christmas.
That's terrific.
And yeah, we couldn't have literally without your cooperation and without the generosity of the BCP, we wouldn't have been able to have accomplished.
Well, that's part of the reason we're here is to clear up what is the BCP. There's a lot of misconceptions. It is a total volunteer organization.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is paid. It's not that kind of thing where we're putting on productions like the shows. No actor, performer, musician, stagehand, nobody gets paid.
Right.
It's whatever money. Of course, we do charge for the tickets,
sure,
and
yeah.
whatever money is received from those shows is used in either other community charities or events or for future shows.
Sure.
So
it's put back into the
we put it back into the shows or into the community, and that's why the BCP is there. And by the way, we're always looking for people to help. So we're looking for members. We're looking for people to help out. We have started, since we don't have the space, we don't have a stage for a Tuesday talk, which was a BCP production in the past. We have created Thursday community chats at the library. They've been very successful. There we are limited to 25 seats.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because I know that the Tuesday talk at at Tap Out at that facility is not part of the BCP, the Boquete Community Pulse, and I had Phil. I think it was Phil and Jan. Might have been Phil or she. It was originally going to be Wednesday at the library, and then it wasn't, and then it was. So now that's been set. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Not every Thursday.
Not every Thursday.
Right now it's twice a month, although
Okay.
the library is considering allowing 3 times a month because we're asking people because of the capacity of the room to make a reservation when the announcement goes out.
Right.
And as a result, we've had waiting lists. So most topics of interest, we do a repeat.
Right.
So last week was legal matters. That will be repeated
Right.
at the next Thursday talk.
Okay. Well,
Before we
if you
conclude
need
anything,
some help, let me know.
Oh, sure.
I'll be
before
more
we
than happy.
conclude about the market, not that we're concluding the show, but one other thing we do for our vendors is we promote a vendor of the week, and that goes out a profile of the vendor and their service or their product once a week,
Right. Cool.
and that is on social media, etc. And we're encouraging our vendors to think a little bit outside the box. How can they themselves promote their own business?
yeah.
We also have a vendor liaison, a vendor herself, Sandra Kripe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so she is sort of the liaison between the BCP and the vendors. We also have an incredible lady who's our market manager. That's Anna Miranda.
I know Anna.
And she's our liaison with the fairgrounds and overall operating manager.
Yeah, she's a fantastic person.
Amazingly talented young
Yeah,
woman.
she does a great job of organizing the market and working with the vendors, and so we'd be happy to have people come down. And the beautiful thing about this community is the variety of vendors. You have local people, you have expats, you have all kinds of products. It's great.
Services too.
Services, charities. See Brandy Gregory most weeks there as the knitters,
The knitters and quilters,
yeah.
She's been on the show a few times.
Yeah.
Brandy, if you're listening, I'm going to hit you up for another guest spot, by the way. So just so you know.
She'd be happy to, I'm sure.
Yeah. she could knit you a little thing to put over the microphone.
Right, I know, a little mic.
Well, you already have something, but
Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, you know, it really is. I just wanted to clarify one thing about our charity and how the BCP has helped us. 137 children had Christmas this year because of our ability to get those families adopted, thanks to your generosity with
terrific.
that space. And that, you know, when you think about the community, how this helps the community, it isn't just, you know, us, you know, expats. This went all the way out into the comarcas, went up to Jaramillo, went all the way out to almost to Caldera, all of these families and everything, not just from our charity, but for all the other ones that are involved with the BCP that you guys help promote, goes far, you know, from downtown. It's kind of like,
But
you know, fingers in everything.
A little correction there, however, Al. People use the word comarca a little too loosely.
Well, yeah,
The comarca is a good 2.5 hours from here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the indigenous communities. here.
Indigenous.
Correct.
Yeah, the indigenous
That's correct.
communities here.
The barrio.
well, I have to say, Al, like you, I am a toughened New Yorker.
Yeah.
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 You know, we're tough. We're from New York, but it really warms my heart. And this is not to do with the BCP, but just in general, the amount of care and that especially from the expat community.
Yeah.
You know, for all these charities, whether it's pets, you know, the Amigos de Animales and the clinics and all these things, and helping people.
Buenos Vecinos.
Buenos Vecinos,
Chairwoman of Buenos Vecinos.
Yeah, absolutely.
For
Now,
years.
What is Buenos Vecinos? for
Okay,
those
Buenos
who-
Vecinos is our local food charity.
Okay.
All right? We've been in quote-unquote business I've been the chair for over 10 years.
Oh.
Probably it's been 15 years before I even arrived here 13 years ago. We provide non-perishable food once a month to a varying number, hovering around 85, sometimes it's gone up to 125 local families, the vast majority of whom are indigenous, and the majority of those are either handicapped or struggle to support a handicapped family member. And we work closely with the Fundación Pro Integración, the Handicap Foundation.
Yes, I've had both of them on the show. Great organizations.
Our food is provided to their clients. They have a different service objective. Theirs is more medical appointments, therapy, things like that. But we do overlap in that regard. And we operate strictly on donations from the community. And I'm talking about an average annual budget of about $36,000. So the generosity of the community, as Michael pointed out, is consistent.
Yeah. Well, you know, I have a lot of charities on this show. You know, I mean, just not just you know, health and hospice. I mean, just probably 5 or 6 of the major ones. Joe and Linda have been on the show several times from the ACCB. The generosity of this community is amazing.
Look what happened
Astounding.
during the floods.
Do what?
Look what happened during the floods that we had.
Oh, I know.
We reached not just within our community, we helped Volcan.
Right,
And
yes.
speaking of comarca, Buenos Vecinos got some donations that ended up going all the way to
All the way to-
Soloy,
yeah.
which is up by San Felix.
Yep. And they got devastated. They got horribly devastated. But yeah,
Yeah.
it just, you know, and it's not just the charities. I mean, I've seen people, you know, post on the community groups about, you know, individuals. This community reached out to help me when I had to have cancer surgery. You know, it was just all of a sudden came up, and I didn't have enough time to get the money I needed together to get, you know, the 2 surgeries I needed. And it's not just that. It's so many people here. When you think of how big this district is, when you it goes all the way to Dolega, on the other side of St. Francis is where the Boquete district ends, and then you go all the way up to Mountaintop, over there right before somewhere in there is where Bocas del Toro begins. But this is a huge area,
Yes.
and when you look at the needs especially amongst the indigenous and especially amongst the less fortunate locals. There is so much of it, and this community consistently reaches out, consistently just gives out of their generosity, and I couldn't think of a better place to be.
And when a crisis arrives, everybody's
That's
ready
true.
to go.
Yeah, everyone
And when
pitches
there's a
in.
special occasion like Christmas in your group, our group,
Yeah.
ACCB,
Oh yeah.
And the BCP.
And the BCP,
ACP
yeah.
got together, and we used a school bus, and Rod Parker was Santa Claus,
Yeah.
and probably hit,
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many hundreds of families in one long,
Yeah.
very long day.
Hundreds
yeah.
of kids received cookies, and Rod
treats.
Parker almost collapsed of the heat exhaustion.
He's got his own beard, let alone Santa's
It's
beard.
tough being Santa these days. It's not as easy as it looks in the tropics.
In
It's
the-
easy when you're in the North Pole.
Yeah.
In the tropics, not that easy.
Yeah, and nobody wants to see Santa in a Speedo, so. You know.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I don't know about that.
But yeah, it's and I know that when the announcement came out, I don't know, maybe about a month or two ago, about the change of the name of the BCP from the Boquete Community Players
Yes.
to the Boquete Community Pulse, the way that was explained and why you did that, I thought was very well put together. So I don't know how much of that you remember how much either of
Sure.
you remember as to why that name change was done, but I would be interested.
Well, I'll
in
tell you,
telling people
we
to hear
did
that.
want to dispel a lot of the rumors and you know, some of the things. I mean, it's true that the BCP started basically as a theater group.
Yeah.
Okay, so the in the past the logo had kind of like a marquee look to it, and it connected us to theater.
Right.
But we're not just a theater group anymore. We're a community group now, and so we wanted to kind of get away from that marquee look and have a new name and look. And we've always thought, as you know, the heart of the community. So why not Boquete Community Pulse? You know, pulse, heart. You know, works hand in hand, and that's it. And you know, like I say, we're such a small community. You know, that's why I love to dispel all these rumors, and it's you know, it's pointless to have arguments, you know, like this thing that happened with Tap Out. That's not, you know,
It's not a thing.
it's not a
even
thing. It's not a
yeah.
thing. So people are getting all worked up about something that is not happening. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm
And
glad
it
we had a
has-
chance to
Well,
clear that
it has
up.
been ongoing. I mean, I sat on the board of the BCP a couple of years ago, and even back then, there was ongoing discussions about the roof needed to be replaced, the stage needed to be rebuilt. That room in the back, the storage room, has been remodeled 2 or 3 times. Reconfigured 2 or 3 times. And I remember sitting in those meetings and those discussions, which obviously I'm not going to, you know, reveal any of that. It's private,
Right.
but it is not a private or a confidential thing to say that that building has needed a major renovation for quite some time.
Well, and the BCP, you know, for years has done renovations to the
yes.
tune of tens of thousands
Yes,
of dollars
yes.
in that building while the BCP was renting the building.
Sure,
So
bathrooms and all that. I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Bathrooms. Have you been in the ladies' room lately over there?
yeah, I don't know about the
I
bathrooms.
think I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
Good. No, all the wiring in the theater. We've redone the
Yeah.
roof because it used to leak like crazy in there.
Yeah.
We
Oh, it did, yeah.
resurfaced. Not with tarmac, but we did the parking lot and had
Yeah.
parking lot spaces. Averaged out that rampway that goes down to the right as you come into the
Yeah.
building. That was that was done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so a lot of work was done over the years, and a building like that needs to be maintained. It's old. I remember
sure,
when
yeah.
it was Snoopy's.
Oh yeah, the people
was
still
a
call it that.
dive-
A lot of the
dive
locals.
bar.
Where do you go? Go to the Snoopy's Bridge. That's what they know that bridge
Snoopy's
is.
Bridge.
Snoopy's Bridge. Yeah, the which is now
There was
everyone
no
else calls-
bridge there when it was Snoopy's.
The
We had to
BCP
go over the Panamonte Bridge to get to Snoopy's.
Yeah, but people still call. I've heard it referred to that.
Wow.
You know, I was like, wow. I didn't even know. I wasn't here when it was Snoopy's.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know if you were here when it
Yeah,
was. Were you here when it
I
was
remember
Snoopy's?
the first auction.
Wow.
It was an auction-like event that went on there, and I thought, my God.
It's funny, you know, when I have people on the show that own businesses here, and they tell me what their establishment looked like when they took it over, like Chris, you know, with Big Daddy's, it was just a taco stand. It was just that front piece. The whole back was just field. And a few other people who have said, yeah, well, we used to be this tiny little building, and I look at it now, and it's like you got, you know, 12,000 square feet. When did you do this? But I have seen and I have read the history, not just what was posted on Facebook of the BCP, but I've seen a lot of pictures of what the building used to look like, the stages of construction, how it was all put together, and you know, the community that was involved in doing it, and some of the people that were on that original are still.
Yeah, some of those people are still here, and you know, I can't give them credit by name, but I would personally like to thank everybody that provided the theater and the stage, you know, and worked on all those productions so that we could have something, and hopefully, you know, again in the future there will be many more shows and theater productions in Boquete's future. You know, that would be great.
It would.
Yeah, it's one of the things that draws people to this community.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the BCP shows have always been a really good draw for the community, and I know that you know, the two shows that I was in, it was two or three, I can't remember. I think it was two.
At least two.
I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, not just obviously the performing, as you know, we're entertainers. You know,
right.
That's how we get our fill of dopamine, is being up there on the stage. But the whole process, you know, the camaraderie, the rehearsals, the pre-dress rehearsals, the dress rehearsals. You know, it's a family. You know, well, during that time when we're all together, you know, we all share the same, you know, common experience.
Very much so. I think all the people that have been in the shows that I've been involved with feel as if, you know, it's a one big family.
Yeah.
We all have fun, and we all, you know, you give as much as you can on stage, but you get so much from the audience.
Yeah,
you know,
it's unlike anything
amazing.
else. Yeah, it really is. And you know, the audience can feel that. You know, if you're up there and you know, you and I have been entertainers for decades, and when you're up performing, you get more back as the performer than I think, you know, the audience members do. You know, and I don't know why that is. I'm sure there's some scientific explanation for it. All I know is that you know, for those times where, whether it be at the BCP or playing music, those 6 weeks I sat in with Still Kicking is still 6 of the best weeks I've had since I landed here.
Oh, that was fun having you with us.
But yeah, and I know we all look forward to that, and I want, you know, again, thank you for clearing that up, that this is not the end of the shows and anything there.
No, not at all, not at all. And again, the minute we're able to start rehearsals, I mean, we're planning a show.
Yeah.
It's just that we cannot
get together,
you know, get together and rehearse with a band and, you know, a whole big thing to put on the show. But I think once you know, the regulations are lifted so that we can, we're maybe a month away from having our first show. So, you know, I think it'll take us a month to get together, to rehearse, and we want to get out there. Believe me, probably more than the audience
people want to get you out there.
Looking for. No, I don't know about that, but no, we really want to. The musicians that I know are just dying to play together again. You know, we have a lot of rust to work through, but we're going to do it, and you know, you should come out and see the first show just to see how it goes.
I know.
You know?
I tell you what, I miss live. I miss going to live shows. I miss playing at live shows. I sit behind my drums and rust falls off me as I'm playing. I know it's the community is looking to get back to some sense of normalcy, and you know, part of what's normal here in Boquete is that theater. That's, you know, a very cohesive part of the community. You know,
we're gonna address that future by having a couple of at least one, probably two, community chats Thursday at the library. Dates to be announced, hopefully next month, February, where Phil Bennett will go over the technical aspects of running a show. Sheila Strunk on production, myself regarding acting and directing, and an overall glimpse into what our theatrical productions have been like and how you can get involved. You know, and what's involved with an audition, for example. And I'll go over some theatrical terms, things like that. We want to get, and it's always generally been the case that, and I've been in, lost track, maybe 15 shows already, but we almost always, I mean, we have kind of a repertoire company of experienced actors.
Sure, yeah.
But we also, all of our auditions are always open, and we almost always get somebody new. And we know damn well that there's a whole lot of new people in our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just in the last year.
There's
so
a lot of
we
talent
definitely want
out
to
there.
tap into some of that talent.
Yeah.
And we want to include the audience in any way we can.
Yeah. Well, there's also, you have stagehands, you have props people, you have construction. I
wardrobe.
mean, there's the wardrobe, makeup,
Stage
whatever.
manager.
There's a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I remember the ninja conversations. Are we gonna have the stuff moved by people dressed in black? There was a lot. There was a lot of that. But
oh yeah.
But yeah, that's when you think of, and whether this is by design or it just happened, when you hear Boquete, if you've been here for any length of time, well, before they closed everything up, one of the first places that your mind goes is to the BCP, to not just the theater or the market, but the other things that the Tuesday talks, now the Thursday
chats, community chats. Yes.
You guys have been a part of this, integral part of this community for.
The BCP has been, and if I could just go back to the music shows. We have an amazing community. I mean, we talked about the generosity, but also the generosity of the performers. We have so many great performers, singers, musicians, actors, but also, as you mentioned, Al and Louise, the people behind the scenes. You cannot put on a show without the people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it takes so many people. And those people are not... And I hope they're feeling, the applause, because it's for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're not on the stage receiving the applause. And there's such kind people who help us with every show. And again, just like the BCP is looking for volunteers for other things, we're always looking for volunteers for somebody that can help us with a show, whether it's performing or behind the scenes. Yeah. For every show, we need somebody to be, with a script, standing there behind the set, or taking care of the wardrobe or the props or whatever it is, opening the curtain, closing the curtain. All those people, I thank you so much.
Yeah. And you have, and I do, and if you have never been to one of these shows, my friends. The ones that I've been involved with, you were the MC.
Yes.
You've always recognized, at the end of the show,
it's
when
theater
everyone
tradition.
You've always made sure to recognize
the theater tradition,
the behind the stage people. Yeah,
right.
and and Louise is absolutely right. I was 17, 18 or 19 years old when I joined the International Thespian Society, and I got my SAG card. And every production I have been in over the last 40 years, and it's probably been dozens, it's always been to where the backstage and the behind the scenes people were always recognized during or after the last encore, or at least definitely on the playbills. And I think that's really, really important. It doesn't matter if you're on Broadway or if you're at a small show in a little mountain town in Central America. It's important to recognize the people that you don't see on the stage.
Yeah. Well, as we said, it is like a family, and we have so much fun. I think I have more fun in the shows that I've directed just talking to the cast and the crew, in especially those moments just before the show when we have that, that adrenaline, and you're going to put on the show in just moments, and the audience is going to be walking through that door. And actors, I mean, it's, I've always said it's like herding cats because let's face it, we're performers and, we march to a different drummer sometimes.
Yeah.
But, it's so much fun. And really, if somebody out there wants to get involved, we invite you to. Of course, right now, as I explained, there's not much to get involved with. But in the future, we're so hopeful that things are going to open up, for the markets and for, everything. I mean, this pandemic, Al, it's got to be over soon, right? I'm not soon, but sometime.
I tell you what, when I started doing those translations, right, I had figured, okay, I'll go ahead and do this. Maybe it'll last, a month or two. Yesterday, I posted my 324th set of stats.
Oh my God.
And so yeah, we're coming up on a year. I'm hoping, like everyone else, not that I mind. I provide that service to the community because not all of us are fluent in Spanish. But we all hope that this is going to come to an end. We're all hoping this vaccination, for however you feel about it, is going to have some sort of a positive impact, and we can start getting back to the business of being a fun place to.
Well, Al, let me tell you, this show that I'm talking about that is kind of in a planning stage, it was in the planning stage in March, this past March. Mm-hmm. And I remember before, the quarantine and everything, we had a meeting at my house, and people were like, well, when do you think we can put this show on? Don't forget, it's March of 2020, right?
Yeah.
And I said, probably May, June, like this thing is going to be over. Come on, little did I know we're probably looking at a year or more.
Probably, yeah.
From March of 2020.
I know that and again, this isn't a political statement. This is just what the NIH is saying, is that they're predicting that they'll have in the States the virus under control in the fall. Of 20. Now, I don't know how far behind Panama is, but
Panama might be ahead.
The vaccines are here already, and they're going to start rolling them out according to Mensa
Next
the 18th next week. And those 4 phases, they're hoping to have get to phase 4 by March. So we may be ahead.
I'd say so.
In that
I'd say
case,
Panama is ahead.
Yeah.
So if we can get and keep our RT levels down below 1, if we can get a certain percentage of the community vaccinated to where we get that medically induced herd immunity going,
right,
to where it doesn't cost lives.
I think we have to realize that, or be grateful that this is a small country of 4.2 million people.
Yes.
It's a hell of a lot easier to manage a pandemic than it is in a country of 300 plus million like the States.
300 plus million, yeah.
And the fact that you notice there is no question in this country about wearing a mask.
No, I mean that's
done.
That's
period.
you do it or you get fined or worse. So and we are ahead of the curve. We're 0.5 percentage points, a half percentage point. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you consider the spread of this and how many people have died from it and how many people have contracted it, that 0.5% is hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cases. Potential cases that we're ahead by, that we haven't gotten yet. And I know it's inconvenient, and I know that it's a polarizing subject, but it is the national law here, like it or not. And I think because of that, and because of the constant reminder from Mensa to wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, we are ahead of the curve. And then everyone's looking forward to getting back to, I guess what we would consider.
I think it'll be the new normal, not normal. It'll be
I think there's still going to, a lot of this, you do something long enough, it becomes a habit,
right.
And maybe, maybe we should keep the masks in the stores. I don't know. That's not for me to say, but I do know that Panama as a country is doing a better than average job on trying to contain this.
Yeah.
In spite of the fact of all the people who are consistently still wanting to, they're still having parties, and I'm talking about 5 or 10 people they've been busting parties with 200, 300, 400 people.
right.
Yeah,
people
yeah.
on it.
That's
And,
just crazy.
And even with that, we're still ahead. And I can't imagine how further along we'd be if everyone just behaved themselves. I'm tired of getting spanked.
That's not what I heard.
Not in a good way.
Well, I'll tell you, because of this pandemic, I am going to continue washing my hands. I think washing your hands is a good.
Yeah.
That's something I learned.
Yeah, and I think things like shaking hands are probably gonna end up, just
That's
a
no,
fist bump or an
yeah.
elbow or
No shaking
namaste or
hands.
whatever.
Or a punch in the face.
And for all that is good and right in the world, if you blow on my birthday candle, I am going to kick you out of my house. No more blowing on birthday cakes.
Oh my God! When my daughter was, how old was she? She was like
You can blow the
6.
candles
She
out.
was 6.
No.
My daughter was 6. We had she's sitting in a dining room table with a friend of hers. The candles are lit. Her friend sneezed on the cake.
And you probably ate it too.
We did eat
Yes,
it.
of course you did.
We wiped the
Scrape
icing,
it off.
scraped
Just
the
wipe
icing
that
off.
off. Oh my God.
Today you would burn the cake. You
I
would
know,
just
right?
yeah.
Oh my God!
Throw it out.
And you know what? I don't think there's.
And then wash
anything-
your hands.
There's a lot of countries that don't handshake.
That's correct.
And it's got nothing to do with politics or religion
cultural.
or whatever. It's just cultural. I've spent more than an average amount of time, I guess, comparatively in Asia. And they bow, little
Yeah,
bow.
bowing is good. I would call that the Howie Mandela
the
effect.
Howie Mandela effect. Yeah. So I think there are things like Mike said that are going to probably permanently change, but I don't think for the worse. You know,
yeah.
I don't want people spitting on my birthday cake. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
You're going to get a shield for your
I'm
a
gonna
birthday
get a
cake
birthday
shield. That's
cake
going to be a
shield.
new item.
That'd be only available here.
Yeah.
I'll have a Radio Cherokee logo on it.
Maybe I'll start making shields for food. Like when you go to a restaurant, you just put the shield over your food.
A portable sneeze guard.
Yeah. Portable
Mike
sneeze-
Schwartz's portable
That's
sneeze
right.
guard. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, we got a few minutes left, so before we close the show out,
Okay.
you want to go over anything you want to repeat? Anything you want to let everybody know?
Well, I would just like to let everybody know that the BCP is a community organization. We're all volunteers. The people in the shows do not get paid, as some people have, rumored.
Those rumors.
Yeah, we just want to make Boquete a better place, and that's the goal. And we invite you to join us and help us. And we are planning. When it was basically a theater organization, we had memberships.
Right.
And we are planning on having, when we're able, as we mentioned, to have some get-togethers with the members. We're going to try to get new members. And now it's not just theater, but it's community work as well.
Sure.
Kind of like the thing we did Christmas, giving away, with the ACCB. And, that's it. We're just an organization that tries to do good. The community chats, the Tuesday Market, the theater productions, anything else, Louise, that I'm leaving out?
Well, at the moment, those are the 3 bases that we're covering. Is our Tuesday Market at the Arco Iris, and we'd like you to join us. Thursday community chats, all that information is up on social media, News, Boquete, etc.,
Yes.
Cherokee Live, and also our basic community outreach.
Now, what time is the market open?
9 o'clock,
9 a.m. and it closes at
12.
At 12. Ample parking. I know. I've been there several
There's plenty
times.
of parking.
There's plenty of parking. And there is help getting your stuff in and out of the car.
Yeah, as a
For the
vendor,
vendors, yes.
There
if
is-
you yourself come staggering up to the front door and can't get in, we'll give you a lift.
Sure. Yeah. And okay. Well, look, it's very important, my friends out there, that you understand that this organization, as Mike and Louise had just told you, is not just the market. It's not just the theater. It's so much more. And the new name, Boquete Community
It
Pulse,
has evolved.
has evolved. You guys got a website or a Facebook page yet set up? I know
Yeah,
that
I
there was some
think we
talk
do.
about that.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
All right, well,
I don't know what it is, but it's out
well,
there.
someone get the information to me through, either Facebook or WhatsApp or
We'll
whatever.
get Jan.
Yeah.
or Sheila
And yeah, when I
Rod.
post the video of the show in a couple of days. I'll put all that information in there. So, all right. Well, it looks like we are at 11 o'clock, so we're out of time. I want to thank Mike Schwartz and Louise Orr for joining
Thank you,
me
Al.
today, and
Thanks, Al.
we will definitely be back next week. You've been listening to Boquete Now Talk Radio on Radio Cherokee 103.3 FM, sponsored by Big Daddy's Grill, Boulder 54, the Tap Out Sport Zone. Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Pasen buen día, mi amigos, mi amigas, and hermanos y hermanas.